Hello and welcome. In GST, e-Invoice is electronic invoice which you need to generate on the e-Invoice portal. As of now, if your aggregate annual turnover is more than 5 crore, then you have to generate e-Invoice for both B2B and export supplies. If we go back in time, e-invoicing was first implemented in October 2020 for taxpayers having aggregate annual turnover of more than 500 crore. From 1st Jan 2021, this limit was reduced to 100 crore. Then from 1st April 2021 to 50 crore. After 1 year, that is from 1st April 2022, this was reduced to 20 crore. Then from 1st October 2022, this limit was further reduced to 10 crore. From 1st August 2023, that is as of now, if your aggregate annual turnover is more than 5 crore in any of the years since GST was implemented, you have to generate e-invoice. If you observe the trend here, e-invoicing is being extended to taxpayers in a phased manner, and it wouldn't be a surprise soon if this is made applicable to all taxpayers. In today's video, we are not going to discuss about basics of e-invoicing because I already have a dedicated playlist. If you would like to know more about it, you may watch the playlist. The link is in the top right corner. Then e-Waybill or electronic waybill. This is the document that is required for movement of goods, and this can be generated from e-Waybill portal. So e-Invoice and e-Waybill both can be generated from dedicated portals. With this basic understanding, let's now talk about the recent changes that have been made, and this is about e-Invoice and e-Waybill generation. To put it differently, we are going to talk about the linking of e-Invoice with e-Waybill. Before we understand these changes, let's first see the link between e-Invoice and e-Waybill that exists as of now. Whenever you generate e-Invoice on the e-Invoice portal, if you provide transportation details, you can also generate e-Waybill. This is the link between these two documents, and this is what most of the taxpayers do. But GST department, taking advantage of data analytics, has found that some of the taxpayers are actually not doing this. That is, when e-Invoice is generated, these taxpayers either they are not providing transportation details to generate e-Waybill, or if generated, these documents are generated in isolation. This has two main problems. One, there is no link between e-Invoice and e-Waybill, so it is difficult to track these transactions or movement of goods. Two, there could be a mismatch of data between these two documents which would warrant further reconciliation. So to address these problems, National Informatics Center NIC has come up with an update to block generation of e-Waybill if e-Invoice is not generated. This is how it is going to work. Whenever you generate e-Invoice, if you provide transportation details, you can generate e-Waybill. But for some reasons, if you want to generate e-Waybill at a later stage, you can do this only if you provide e-Invoice information. So if you don't generate e-Invoice, you will not be able to generate e-Waybill. To put it differently, only after you generate e-Invoice, you would be able to generate e-Waybill. So this link between e-Invoice and e-Waybill, which was so far optional, is being made as mandatory, and this change is going to be effective from 1st March 2024 onwards. Let us now talk about the applicability of this restriction. 1. This is applicable only for B2B and export supplies. To put it differently, this is not applicable, for instance, for B2C supplies. So for B2C supplies, you can continue to generate e-Waybill without this restriction. 2. This restriction is applicable only for selective categories while you generate e-Waybill. And these categories are supply, exports, SKD, CKD, lots. So if you choose any of these categories while generating e-Waybill, the system would check for e-Invoice information. 3. This restriction, it is not just for suppliers, it is equally applicable even for the transporter if the supplier has not generated the e-Invoice. Another important thing to remember is, whenever you generate e-Waybill for B2B or export supplies, with effect from 1st Feb 2024 onwards, ensure that you provide 6-digit HSN if your aggregate annual turnover is more than 5 crore. So from 1st March 2024, no e-Invoice could mean no e-Waybill. With this, it is a wrap on this episode. Hope it was informative. Thank you for watching.